let's get this. So I'll do this until it goes over the side. There's some glunk in it. So I'll just put it on pause for now until I finish that. I'll have to, okay. So we got the cushion on now. And here's my pour cup. This is big enough for this size canvas. I'm going to try not to put so much paint this time, but the center of this is the first thing that goes in the cup. I'm going to put the yellow, because that'll be nice and light. Pour it down the side. Okay, that's enough. I got to remember not to use too much paint. Not to use too much paint. So there's the yellow. I'm going to use this beautiful limey green. Keeping things light at first. Not too much. And I love orange in the center. Not too much. And I'm going to use very little of each one now because I don't want to put a lot of paint on this canvas like I usually do. So I'm going to use this purple. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Purple, turquoise. Whoops, I almost did it right on the canvas. I've done that a few times. Now a lot of this stuff that's going in last is going to go right over the side, so I don't want to use too much. The magenta, just to get magenta in there. Okay, not using too much paint. Do the blue, do the orange, do the green, do the turquoise, the lighter blue, a little bit. Okay. Okay. And just the purple, just maybe see it'll creep in there somehow. Okay. Here we go, folks. Showtime. Right in the center. Tiny little circles. That's the blue. That'll eventually stretch out to the end. Here comes your magenta. Here comes your turquoise. It's making finger cells so far. I'm waiting for the light ones. A little too fast, a little too fast. Slow down. Oops, oh, I saw a glob go in there. We'll have to get that out. Here comes the orange. Try to stay in the center. Is there another glob? It's a lot of orange. A little too much probably. And the yellow should be coming soon, I hope. There it is. Little tiny circles. So it'll make nice finger cells. That's that nice light center that I wanted. And I could probably, it's probably enough. Now, if I want to get rid of that little squiggle, which I don't like for my center, just get a stick or a pencil or something. Skewer. And just get that out of there. Whoops. Get that out of there. Make a nice center instead of what's there. Get rid of that line there. Get rid of that line there. Okay. Better center. Okay, so I don't see any cells coming up. as we know, cells, but it might make some finger cells, which this kind of pour does that as you stretch it. So I'm going to give it a little shot with the gun to warm the paint up a little. There's the finger cells a little bit coming up. Bursting the bubbles too, doing this. Don't think I used too much paint. I wish I had been a little bit more to the center, but I can tilt it that way. I do not want it to go over the side right away. So we're going to make very, very gradual circles. I am going to move it a little bit more to the center as I do that. I like that yellow and orange center. Could have probably put a little white too. It's starting to stretch. Nice and slow and gradual. We don't want it going off the edge yet, but the cushion can go off. That's fine. The turquoise is at the end, which is going to go off. But I think I had put some turquoise in the beginning a little too. And you know, if I don't like this, I'm going to go back in it. You know that. Yeah, it's moving very slowly. Don't want it to go off yet, except for the cushion. That can go off. Stretching nicely. It's kind of a cool combination. Wish I should have put a little more turquoise in the beginning, because it's probably a lot of that's going to go off. So my cushion's going off nicely, and it's stretching nicely. Cushion, just cushion going off right now. These nice gradual turns, keeping the control with the tilting. Tilting is everything. Look how that stretch is happening. Woo! I like that stretch. Not yet. Don't want you going off yet. Oh, the turquoise is stretching. I think it was good I didn't put as much paint as I ordinarily do. So I won't have to pour as much off. I'm glad I stopped with the yellow, because it's enough yellow. So next time, less in the center. All right, here we go. It's moving very slowly, even though I'm tilting quite a bit, which means it hasn't got that much paint on it, and I might be able to preserve. Just get that's it, just get that off. Try to keep, hopefully, maybe keep some turquoise, maybe. Okay, let's go round, round, round. It's got to go off that side a little bit. Okay. Coming around, coming around. It's moving very slowly, which is good. Maybe I won't have to tilt so much off. Ooh, that blue is gorgeous. I'll tell you the colors I use later. There, the turquoise is probably going to disappear. Say, well, why can't you stop now? Because you have to get a lot of paint off, or else it's going to crack. So I've been told, and so I have found out too, that it will crack. Watching all your corners, see what you want to preserve. Get this, off up here. Moving very slow, which is amazing, and that's because I don't use a whole lot of paint. Okay, bring it back quick. It's gorgeous. I kind of like this. If I can keep some of this, I could put it down. If I can keep some of this, this does not have to be in the center. As long as it's, the composition is okay. But of course I have to get this white off, which I will. Slowly, 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 so we can possibly save some of the, see how slow it's moving? Very slow, which is great. Let me get that little bit off up there. Yeah, I think it went over. Yep, okay. Let it come back quick so you don't lose, oh, no, didn't good. Okay, so you don't lose all of the turquoise. You can bring it back, so it doesn't lose all the turquoise, all that's going off the edge. Let's see what I could save here. It's moving very, very slowly, which is great. Let it come around like that, like that, like that, like that. Bring it back quick. See the turquoise is coming back? Okay. But I still have to get rid of this, so that I might just cheat. A little too dark a color. Okay, let's go this way. It's very pretty. I like the, I love the orange with the blue. Orange and blue love each other. Okay, let it come back, let it come back, let it come back. Grow, grow, grow. It's growing. Turquoise is growing. Okay. Now it's got to go off one more area. I really like this. I think the colors are beautiful. I do like Caribbean colors. Okay. Now it looks like I'm going to lose the turquoise, but if I come back quickly, I might not. Okay. Let it come back, let it come back, let it come back. Woo, she's coming back. She's coming back. The turquoise is coming back. Yay. See it? Can you see it, guys? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now it's in the center.
I do not like that little white area there. So I don't want to lose more turquoise, so I'll see if I can just put a dab of turquoise in there. It's got enough paint off it. It is moving extremely slowly. So this is great. That's what I want. I didn't get as many finger cells as I wanted. But I'm going to get a little tiny bit of, what color is that? That's too light. So I'm going to make a combination. That's not the right blue. It's purple. There's purple in it. There's purple in that. Just get it. Just a dab. That might work. Let's see. There you go. You just want to kill that white. If your finger has white on it, it won't work. So I've got to clean the finger and just put a tiny bit of that combination again. And I could also manage to push it off the side, maybe. Let me use this stick instead of my finger. So these are all tricks you have to figure out. It's better than the finger. Yeah, don't get to the white of the canvas. I have to go off a little. It's not going to go off much. Okay, let's try to get that. Stretching the middle a lot, which is a good thing. Let's bring this back. Let's bring it back. Let's save that turquoise. Let's bring it back. Let's bring that turquoise. Save that turquoise. Oh, look where it's going off over here. It's got to go off somewhere when you're tilting. You don't want it to be too off center. Just a little bit off center is nice, and we preserve the turquoise. So now it has to go into a very flat area, but I'm seeing a couple of boo-boos, a couple of, and this acts like a tweezer. So I'm just gonna, that wasn't a glob. I don't think it was a glob, but it's, it's too dark. Have to blend that in. Okay, we don't want to make it stick out like a sore thumb. I don't want that to stick out like a sore thumb. And I don't want that white. I don't want that white. So let's make it a little purple. I mean, turquoise. Okay. Sometimes when you start fiddling around like this, you ruin the whole painting. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And then, of course, we're wiping the edges. Wipe the edges. It's a pretty nice piece, I think. It's got some, now be careful when you point at things, it'll drip right into the painting. I've done that a million times and ruined a painting that way. I think they're clean enough now. These beautiful finger cells it's made. Yeah. The more you tilt, sometimes you get more of that too, but I'm not going to tilt anymore. I think this is all I want off, and just want to touch up the edges a little with his white. You could also touch this up later after it's dry. Just match the colors to whatever you have. So just put some in here, touch up the sides a little. It's not that white stuff showing. But clean my finger, it's picking up white. Okay. And shouldn't have done that. Sometimes you bring up white. Sometimes you're better off touching it up when it's dry. Touching it up when it's dry. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. When you mess up the edges. Okay, so this will dry flat. This will not dry like you're seeing it with this beautiful shine on it. So I'm either going to use, I like it shiny, so I might use resin. I think this one would be a perfect piece for resin. The bottom of this canvas will need stapling because for some reason it makes folds, and the folds need to be stapled. So I'll do that later too after it dries. But it's just needs some wiping on the bottom right now. Get all that heavy stuff off. This was a really good amount of, I've got to torch it too. It's got a little tiny bleep right here. Oh, gunk. Yes, it had gunk. And as soon as you take the gunk off, it closes up. The paint closes up, which is what you want to do. You don't want to leave those gunky things in there. Okay. Let's see if we get a little more turquoise to come back. But it's showing. It's nice. It's got it here and it's got it there, so that balances it out nicely. A little too much. I'm doing too much. Tilting that way. It's hardly moving. which means it's done as far as tilting. So let me get this off here, and I'll bring it in for a close-up, and then my sister's gonna have her hand at this. Okay, so I like it. I like it enough to keep this. I'm glad I was able to save the what do you call it? Let me just let that go over a little bit more. Compositionally, just let that go over a little bit more. And a little down this way. Yeah, it's hardly moving. But you know, tilting also helps produce cells. So there's more finger cells coming in. I see them. I'm going to use the gun. The gun. Just going to let that come down a little bit more without letting that turquoise go off. It's moving very slowly. And it's helping the finger cells come up more. I don't like this one little white spot. It might be a bubble, it might be a glunk. It might be just a little white there. Oh, it's a glunk. Get rid of that white mark. There. Gone. Gone. Get rid of that too. Alright, I'm gonna shoot it with some. This is going to also bring up some, oh, it's a great torch. It's nice and strong. Be careful with the torch. Don't go too close. You'll burn your paint. It's bursting bubbles right now. It's heating up the paint so that if there's any cells that need to come up, they'll push their way up with the heat. I want to get this center a little bit more. It'll make the veins stick out a little more. It'll make the... Woohoo! Oop, too much. Too much there, see? I don't like those dots. So maybe I better just stop. Well, I've got it. It could make too many marks come up. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to break the bubbles. And that's good enough. That's a beautiful piece, I think. Even if I say so myself. Okay, you gotta like your own work. Alright, so I'll bring it down for a close-up, and then it's gonna go onto the table. And then my sister will be next. So let me show this off for a minute. Okay, so I'll bring it in for a close-up. I shut the light off, so hopefully it won't get the glare. You get some of the lights that are overhead. So that's it. Here's the center. Some finger cells. And I think that's a keeper. Bye for now.